The telephone call is a poem by the New Zealand poet, Fleur Adcock, published in the 1986 collection The Incident Book. It is a free verse poem with no regular rhyme scheme or meter. It has 48 verses divided into 6 octaves or 6 stanzas of 8 verses each. The poem uses a colloquial conversational dialogue form between the Universal Lottery representative and the unknown speaker, presumably the poet. The poem has a general domestic setting with the mention of the telephone, indicating a time without mobile phones. Don't forget to share and subscribe. The telephone call starts by jumping right into a phone conversation, immediately grabbing your attention. Almost the whole poem is this phone call between a mysterious caller, or callers, who call themselves Universal Lotteries and the speaker. It's unclear if they are a group of people or just one person, but the name makes them sound like a big, global company. They start off by asking the speaker if she's sitting down, something people usually say before giving shocking news. Then they tell her she's won the top prize, something called the Ultra Super Global Special. The name sounds grand and makes it feel like she's hit the jackpot out of millions of people. It also plays on the idea of fate, like the universe chose her. They repeat the word million a few times to build excitement, but never say the exact amount. When they say, actually, with more than 1 million, it sounds vague and makes things more confusing. Then they ask what she'd do with all that money, but quickly make a sarcastic comment that not that it makes a lot of difference once you're a millionaire, and laugh. That laughter feels weird, like they're mocking her. By the end of the first stanza, it starts to seem like maybe she hasn't won anything at all. It might all be a cruel joke. In the second stanza, the representative pushes her to talk about how she's feeling, saying things like, "Come on, now, tell us." They're eager to hear her reaction. She says, I can't believe it," showing she's shocked and not fully able to process what's happening. The representative responds with, "That's what they all say," like they've heard it 100 times before. It feels dismissive, maybe even cynical. As they keep asking, she says her head feels like it's spinning like a flying saucer, a funny but exaggerated way to describe her disbelief. Her mind is caught between thinking it's real and wondering if it's all too good to be true. The news brings out this greedy part of her that had been dormant. She even imagines her brain floating out the window, indicating that she's overwhelmed. In the third stanza, the poet's emotions start to take over. The caller keeps encouraging her to open up. She starts to feel it physically. Her throat is dry, her nose tingles. She's not sure if she's about to sneeze or cry. The greed and shock are making her emotional. The representative notices her vulnerability and tells her it's okay to let it out, after all. It's not every day you find out you've won £1 million, but it also feels like they're pushing her toward a big emotional reaction, maybe to teach her a lesson or just for their own amusement. In the fourth stanza, the poet snaps out of it a bit. The representative tells her to take a breath and have a cry if she needs to. That's when the poet remembers she hasn't even bought a lottery ticket in years. When she conveys this, the representative just laughs again. To explain it, the representative says they use something called a retrospective chances module. Basically, they pick winners based on past behavior, even if the person didn't enter the current lottery. It sounds fishy, and she starts to wonder if this whole thing is even real. The term they use makes it feel even more surreal, like she's in a dream. In the fifth stanza, the representative goes on to explain that most people have played the lottery at some point in their lives. Their company buys the information and then their system uses that data to randomly pick a winner from a huge database. The poet is still dazed and says she won't believe it until she sees the check, the tangible proof of winning. This moment shows how people really want to believe in luck, and how most of us have taken a chance like that at least once. That's probably why the company is called Universal, because the feeling of hoping to get lucky is a common desire. The final stanza reveals a big twist: there is no money. The prize isn't cash, it's the experience of winning. Just the feeling. The word "oh" shows how shocked and disappointed she is. There's no check, just this strange, unforgettable moment. That's what they wanted to give her, an emotional roller coaster she'll never forget. After congratulating her, they hang up. The poem ends with the phone line going dead, a bitter way to show how everything just collapsed. That last word, dead, shows how her fantasy dissolved instantly. The poem finishes with a sense of letdown and emptiness. Imagine getting a surprise phone call telling you you've won millions, even though you don't remember entering any lottery. That's exactly what happens in the telephone call. At first, the speaker is cautious and doubtful. They know something feels off. But the very idea of winning triggers a flicker of joy, of irrational hope. Even as they keep saying, "I can't believe it," they start to feel excited. That blend of disbelief and desire is central to the poem's emotional journey. The poem plays on how hope can sneak in even when we know better. The speaker doesn't fully trust the news, but the possibility, the fantasy, starts to win them over. Their head revolves like a flying saucer, and they feel like they might cry. That's not just excitement, it's the overwhelming nature of hope, of being told your life is about to change. The representative even encourages this emotional outburst, pushing the speaker to give in to the moment, to feel. But then comes the twist: there's no money, no check. Just an experience. A cruel joke. The speaker, who has been teetering between doubt and belief, is dropped back to reality. And reality feels worse now than it did before the call. That's the heart of the poem's irony. The momentary illusion of hope was more uplifting than the so-called truth the representative delivered. Think of it like a modern version of the loss of innocence arc, but here, the experience isn't noble or enlightening, it's just deflating. The representative claims the speaker has gained something valuable, a great experience, something memorable. But the tone makes it clear, that's not a prize. It's a way to mock the very human tendency to dream, even just a little, when given the chance. The speaker doesn't even argue. They just report, the line went dead. That silence says everything. Emotionally, they shut down. There's no catharsis, no new wisdom, just numbness. The poem ends on that deadline, highlighting how the experience has drained the speaker rather than empowered them. The company name, Universal Lotteries, is symbolic. It suggests that this isn't just the speaker's story, it's everyone's. The poem says, we've all bought a ticket, metaphorically. We've all dared to hope for something extraordinary, even if we knew better. We've all faced disappointment that feels bigger because we allowed ourselves to feel hope. The poem captures that emotional whiplash, how believing, even a little, can make the fall so much harder. So when the poem talks about universal lotteries, it's really talking about life, fate. The lottery we're all in just by existing. Most of us don't win millions or get perfect justice or perfect happiness. What we win is experience. Not the kind you brag about. Just the slow realization that most dreams don't come true. And that can feel more like a loss than a prize. The poem critiques the false promises we're sold, but also shows how deeply human it is to want to believe them, even for a moment. And it leaves us with the quiet, almost tragic image of a speaker who was briefly lifted by fantasy, only to crash back into a life that now feels emptier than before. Hope you like and subscribe.